Ohio Northern's storied football history began in 1893 against Deming Freeman. We won 24-0 without a coach. In 1894, the students at Ohio Northern contacted students at nearby Lima and Findlay, and 2 intercollegiate football games were scheduled. The first football game, played with another college, was held at Findlay College, with Ohio Northern winning 20-6. The next game was played with the Lima YMCA, with ONU winning 6-0. This is one of the first photographs of an Ohio Northern football team, taken in 1909. While being a rather small school, Ohio Northern played many Division I dynasties in their early years, like Notre Dame as well as Michigan, who was coached by former ONU football player Fielding Yost, who beat Ohio Northern 23-0. Coaches for the football team were also outstanding players. In 1914, Bugs Raymond was the first football coach who did not play as a member of the team. Raymond continued as coach, paid by the athletic board, until 1916. On October 13, 1916, Ohio Northern became a member of the Ohio Athletic Conference, a year after Akron and Baldwin-Wallace entered the conference. In 1950, Ohio Northern withdrew from the OAC. President McIntosh announced this decision and said that the action was taken because the school could no longer field a football team without using freshmen on the varsity. In 1950, Ohio Northern joined the Mid-Ohio Conference. The conference was organized in 1949 by teams from Findlay, Bluffton, Defiance, Ashland, Cedarville, and Wilmington. The same year, 1950, the Ohio Northern football team won 9 games and only lost 1 game. The one loss was outside the conference, and Northern won the conference championship game. In 1976, ONU rejoined the OAC, where we have been since. The OAC is now home to 10 teams all across the state of Ohio. In 1934, one of the most dominant Ohio Northern Polar Bear squads took the field. They compiled the greatest record in the history of the school at the time, when they completed the football season undefeated and unscored upon. Northern was the only college team in the United States that was not scored upon. To add to this fine record, the Polar Bears were the only undefeated team in the state of Ohio. This team was coached by Harris Lamb, pictured on the right, standing next to the athletic director and twin brother Clyde. The 1960 football team at Ohio Northern took on a new look under the leadership of new football coach Arden Stretch Roberson, a former basketball coach at Baldwin-Wallace. In his first season, Roberson led ONU to a 7-2 record and a share of the conference title. He is one of the most famed football coaches at ONU, having the 3rd highest win total in program history. World War II brought the GI Bill that allowed many students to attend college, and the enrollment at Ohio Northern soared. To house these new students, a trailer park was placed on top of the old Ohio Northern field on campus. A new field was constructed, named War Memorial Park, to honor local veterans. Ohio Northern's use of the field, which was shared with Ada High School, lasted from 1947 to September 2004, when the present Dial Roberson Stadium was opened on Ohio Northern's West Campus.
Everybody was really happy because, for years at the Ada Park, which, the community's been great to us and no complaints, but it was a small facility, it didn't meet our needs, and then all these people came to town to go to a game, but they never came on campus. So, we didn't have a home. Now we have a place that we can call our own. We don't have to coordinate with anyone else, and we can do anything we want within reason. And it's been a great addition to our campus.
ONU football has an impressive legacy with its alumni, compiling 44 All-Americans ever since 1964. 2 of the most well-known All-Americans are Jamal Robertson and Jason Trusnick. Robertson played professionally in the NFL, Canadian Football League, and NFL Europe for 12 seasons and is one of only 3 Polar Bears to appear in a regular season NFL game. He spent 6 seasons in the NFL as a running back with the San Francisco 49ers, the Carolina Panthers, and the Atlanta Falcons. Jason Trusnick is a 9-year NFL veteran currently with the Minnesota Vikings. He also had previous stints with the Miami Dolphins, Cleveland Browns, and New York Jets. In 2004, he led the nation with 18 sacks and 31 tackles for loss. Trusnick is still ONU's all-time career leader in sacks with 43 and tackles for loss with 85. In 2004, Coach Gene Paul took command of Ohio Northern football program. In his first year, he led the Polar Bears to an 8-2 record, which came after a 4-6 mark the prior season. Paul has energized the Ohio Northern football program since his arrival in 2004, leading the Polar Bears to 84 victories, 2 NCAA Division III playoff berths, and mention in the national polls in 10 of his 12 seasons as head coach. Dean Paul's most significant win here was in 2005 when we beat Mount Union 21-14.
Well, here's an unbeaten streak that ended. Division III Mount Union. The Purple Raiders had won 110 straight regular season games, coming into Saturday's meeting with the Ohio Northern Polar Bears. But Ohio Northern won 21-14. R.J. Meadows, 148 yards, 3 touchdowns. Mount Union's first regular season loss since 1994.
When comparing last year's team to this year's team, some might be tempted to look strictly at the record. 9-3 and 5-5. That's obviously a big difference. But one parallel I'm able to draw is the fight. Last year there was a lot of close games, as well as this year. I think the simple fact is that this year we let a few of those slip away from us, and that's what held us back in the 2016 season. I'd have to say my fondest memory is the Franklin game of last year. That would be the first round of the playoffs. We were there in Indiana. It was cold, snowing. We were down at halftime, and for a team to rally back like that away in the playoffs in an unfamiliar environment, it was really cool just to be a part of that and to be a part of that win.
In 2015, the Ohio Northern football program posted a 9-3 overall record, reaching the second round of the NCAA Division III playoffs and finishing second in the Ohio Athletic Conference with a 7-2 league mark under 12th-year head coach Dean Paul. In the first round at undefeated Franklin, Indiana, ONU trailed 16-0 at halftime. But the Polar Bears came roaring back, scoring on 4 of its next 5 possessions to win the game 27-22 and improve to 4-0 all-time in the first round of the playoffs. Northern's playoff run came to an end in the second round with a 42-7 loss at number 3 ranked Wisconsin Oshkosh.